There's always a missing element when it comes to photorealism and 3D renders. One of the most overlooked pieces of advice that I see when it comes to the conversation around photorealism and 3D is about the camera. People are always saying add surface imperfections, add dust and scratches and fingerprints and all of these things. And while that's good advice, I don't see anybody really talking about the camera that much. First things up here is angle. Never in the history of photography has anybody ever nailed by hand a perfectly parallel and perpendicular photo of anything. It just doesn't work that way. There's always some variation or imperfection or something that's slightly off in the tilt or the rotation of the camera. You can use this to your advantage when composing your scenes. Depth of field, so all cameras have depth of field. It doesn't matter if it's a sprawling landscape or an up-close macro shot. All cameras have some presence of aperture. This is something that has to be turned on as it's turned off by default inside of your 3D program, but use it as needed. Aberration and distortion, so these are post effects. Generally, I see people overdoing this a lot. Just consider what would be happening if you were looking through a real lens with a real sensor or a piece of film. So whether you want that fisheye close-up wide camera effect or you want that flattened telephoto look, apply as needed. And the last couple here, and these aren't directly related to the camera, but just consider imperfections in your lighting as well. So even those really nice fancy renders that you see of products or even photos of products, there's usually some variation and imperfection in the lighting scenario as well. There may be even areas where it's under and overexposed. With all of these things combined, you'll start to get something that feels a little bit more realistic because you're considering how these things would actually be processed through a camera. And without them, it just ends up feeling kind of fake, and there's always that missing ingredient.